Welcome to the GPS PhotoLink 5.1 geotagging video. In this video you'll learn how to geotag or add GPS coordinates to your photos. To geotag your photos, you need to collect GPS data while you're taking the photos in the field. You can do this by using a separate device such as a Garmin or Trimble GPS and have it record GPS information as you take your photos, usually by using a track log or collecting features. So here I've started a project and imported 5 photos, and with the red X next to the globe means that these do not have GPS information, but I did use a Garmin GPS to collect a track log as I took the photos. You also see that I took a photo of the GPS receiver. This is so we can get the date and time of the GPS in order to synchronize the clock on the camera with the clock on the GPS. We recommend that the first photo you take of the day be of an accurate time source such as a GPS receiver to facilitate geotagging your photos. So now we'll go to the geotag step, and this tells us how many photos have GPS information and how many do not. All of our photos do not have GPS information, and it recommends using the Geotag Wizard, so we'll start that wizard now. There's 2 ways to get the GPS data into GPS PhotoLink. You can use a file, such as a shapefile, comma-separated file, GPX file, or NEMA data file from a GPS. Or if you have a Garmin, you can plug your Garmin into your computer and GPS PhotoLink will download the data directly from the device. So if I click Download from GPS device and click Next, then you can say whether you want to download the track logs or waypoints from the device. If you just walked around while you took photos, then you'll probably want to use track logs. If you collected feature points such as with the Trimble, then you'll probably want to select waypoints. Here I've selected track logs, and I can click Download Data File. Then GPS PhotoLink looks for your GPS device plugged in via the USB or serial port. It's found my eTrex, so I click OK, and it downloads all the track logs from the eTrex. I can then save that to a file for use in the other step of the program. So I'll go back to show the other way, so I'll go back to Previous. This is back to the main one. For this example, I'm going to use a GPS data file. So I click that, then click Next, and then I can browse to the data file. For this example, I could use a shape or a CSV, comma separated, and I'll use a CSV file. If your data file had track logs and waypoints, such as a GPX file, you need to select which type of data you want to use, track log or waypoints, for the geotagging. So now I click Next. This next screen allows you to match up the input fields from your data source to the fields that GPS PhotoLink needs. GPS PhotoLink needs a latitude-longitude field and a date or time field as well to geotag your photos. What's shown down below is the first 4 entries in your data file, and GPS PhotoLink does some smart matching so that it knows the column called lon is supposed to be used for longitude and lat is supposed to be used for latitude. If you need to select different columns, then you can just select the drop-down list and select any of the columns from your input data. You can also choose elevation, again a date and time. In our example here, our time is in 1 field, date and time, but it can also be in 2 fields as well, a date field and a time field. In that case, you would have a date. The green highlighted fields are ones that are used to match. So we can see that direction is used for the heading, but if I want to change that to heading, then it changes the selection to the heading field to let you know which fields GPS PhotoLink is going to use for processing. For the altitude, you can select whether the elevation is in feet or meters, and for date and time, whether the date and time is in UTC or local time. You can also link data via a file name instead of a date time. So if you have a file with all the photo file names in them associated with latitude and longitudes, you select file name and then select the field that contains the actual file name of the photo itself, such as this, and then GPS PhotoLink will link it based on the file name instead of the date time. In this example, we're going to use date time. You can also select what datum your latitude and longitude are in by using the Select Datum source. Besides the geospatial attributes, GPS PhotoLink can also import some text attributes. So we have standard attributes in GPS PhotoLink: title, subject, description, comment, and tags, and you can select which of your data fields you want to import into those fields. So for title, we've selected title here. For comment, it's selected comment. And so for all the other fields in your data file, if you check this box, then those will be included into the linked attributes in GPS PhotoLink. Now that we've matched up all our fields, we can click Next to go to the next step. This is our time synchronization step. This is where we account for the differences between the camera's clock and the GPS time. The recommended way is this first one, where you take a photo of the GPS receiver to show the date and time that that photo was taken. But you can also select this one if you know your camera is set exactly to GPS local time, or this one if you want to manually enter the difference between the camera's clock and the GPS clock. We also have a GPS position match threshold option. With this option, it won't match photos to a GPS position if they're farther than 2 minutes away from when the actual photo was taken. So for a track log, you can set this pretty low to like 1 or 2 minutes. But for attribute data, if you're only collecting a point every 5 or 10 minutes, you can increase that. Then you can also say how to match times. If you're using a track log, you'd want to usually use interpolate between points. But if you're using waypoint or feature data, then you'd want to match to a point before the photo or a point after the photo, so it matches to the exact attribute point. So now we click Next to go to the next step. This is where we select the photo that has the date and time shown. We can zoom in a little bit to see it better. So the photo was taken at 9:47:37, but the camera thought the time was 9:47:44. So to adjust for that, we just change the 44 to 37, and now we know that GPS PhotoLink will adjust the time by 7 seconds for every photo in our list. So now I just select Next. And this last option is we can have it not geotag photos that already have GPS information. If you have a mixture of photos that some have GPS and some don't, then you can select this box to not geotag photos that already have GPS information. So now I want to geotag my photos. So now it geotags them and says 5 of my 5 photos have GPS positions. I click OK. And now all my photos have GPS positions. That's it for the Geotag video.